Welcome into this week's recruiting report, and it has been a busy week for our Otis Kirk as he joins us over the phone. Otis, a lot of guys committing, recommitting, a lot of guys interested in Arkansas, so a busy time of the year for you. Let's get started. Got some 2021 kids to talk about, and we'll start with Landon Rogers, a quarterback from Parkview, decommitted to Arkansas, opened up his recruitment, but recommitted this week.
Was offered and committed on April 16th, decommitted on July the 4th, recommitted on July the 23rd. Yeah, I talked to Coach Bolding about him Friday night or Friday afternoon, and we talked about that. And the deal is he got offered, like I said, on April 16th, Alyssa, and he was so excited because he always wanted to be a Razorback. He just committed on the spot. Well, then he got to thinking, other schools started talking to him, Kansas started pressuring him. And I think maybe I did that I was kind of hasty with my decision. So he kind of backed off on July the 4th and reopened it. But then again, he realized as he got to thinking about it and listening and kind of taking a step back, he realized I may have made a hasty decision, but I made the right decision. So he stuck with Arkansas. He's a kid that passed for 1,661 yards, 19 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, rushed for 584 yards and 10 touchdowns. Here's the deal with Landon. He's 6'5", 215, can run like fast. He's got to get more consistent. That is his issue. One pass, he looks like Tom Brady, and the next one he's off, and he's just got to develop consistency. But the talent is there. The talent is there. It's not bad. It's just consistency, and that comes with time. I mean, it'll come with time and working with a group of receivers that you have at the collegiate level and stuff like that. So he'll be fine, and he is a good quarterback. But just the one thing, and if I point out something about him. There's a lot of positives, but one negative would be he's just got to get more consistent. And that's not really a negative as much as it is. That's probably the truth of 90% of the kids. Yep. I mean, that's why they're going into 12th grade in high school. They're not supposed to be the NFL finished product at 16 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to grow. And I got to ask you, his tight end, Aaron Outley, committed last week. How much do you think maybe that played into, I want to go play with my high school teammate?
Right. I asked Brad that. I did ask Coach Bolding that. And he said it probably played some. He said, they're in the same grade. They're best friends. They hang out together. They play ball together. Aaron caught 47 of those passes that Landon threw, almost half of them, of those completions. But he said it was more of the other stuff. But he said that obviously played a role into it, and they're, people got to remember, they've offered 2 running backs over there, too, one in 2022 and one in 2023 at Parkview. So they're not finished at Little Rock Parkview. Brad Bowden's got that program headed in the right direction. I know their record was 4-6 last year, but they had some injuries. They play a tough schedule. I mean, they play a tough schedule. They were in, of the 6 losses, they were in 4 of them, Melissa, big time. I mean, schools like Momel, Whitehall and stuff, they were in those to the end. The Scholastic Academy and Little Rock Christian, 2 schools that beat a lot of teams bad, with 2 teams that beat them rather handily. Everyone else, the rest of the other 4 losses were all extremely close games. It could have gone either way. Springdale beat them really late up here in Springdale in a game. So those were 4 losses that of the 6 that they got that could have gone the other way. If even 2 of those, a couple of those had gone the other way, they had a 6-4 record and had a winning record, so, and they were that close. And Joyner got hurt early on, and of course, that hurt him too. I mean, he's an elite running back, and he's somebody we'll be talking about many times on this show going forward. He's a 2022 kid, but one of the best in the state is that elite running back.
Looking forward to it. Moving on, and it's hard sometimes to get excited about a kicker, Otis, but there's a lot to get excited about when you talk about Cameron Little committing to Arkansas this week.
Well, the thing about a kicker, it's hard to get excited till you need one. And then when you need one, when you got one, it goes out there and can't hit a 25, 30-yard, 40-yard field goal, and it costs you the game. Then you tend to kind of get excited about him. Cameron Little's the number 2 rated kicker in the country. Doesn't play for a really good high school team over there. I think they had a really bad record last year. I want to say they were 1-9. I probably should have double checked that before it came on. But they had a losing record. He only had 14 point-after touchdowns. They didn't score much, and he was successful on all 14 of them. 5 of 7 on field goals with a long of 46. He's going to play in the Army. Well, it's the high school All-American game now. It used to be the old U.S. Army game in San Antonio. It's just called the All-American game, I think, now. But he's going to play in that in January. He's selected to kick for one of the teams in that. Arkansas got him over Colorado, Oklahoma State, and a lot of the military academies simply because a lot of things. But one, Scott Fountain went the extra step. He went to SEMA, his high school went to the high school anyway, last January when they were out on the road. He went to his school, and then also Arkansas, Sam Pittman hired a special teams coordinator. That a lot of schools don't have that. I mean, they don't make one of their 10 on the field assistants a special teams coordinator, a kicking specialist. In Arkansas with Scott Fountain have that, and he just feels like, hey, this is the guy that's going to give me more attention. So many times when you don't designate a special teams coach, you just do it. You divide it up like it's been done in Arkansas with so many. And I'm not knocking any of past coach, but they've all done that. Basically, they've all divided the duties up. And what happens is, your coach, special teams comes in your spare time pretty much, or you do it early, get out of the way, and get out of there. And then this way you've got someone that's going to work with you. Cameron Little will get the same work as Felipe Franks or is Rakeem Boyd. He's going to get a coach coaching him on those aspects. He'll be, he probably in all likelihood will come in and take A.J. Reed's spot next year. A.J., transferred from Duke, grad transfer, do a good job here at Arkansas. Was a Groza Award nominee this past week. Mm-hmm. But Cameron has got a strong leg. He punts and does it all for Southmore over there. But here he's going to do the place kicking, PAT, field goals, and then kick off. Right now he's not going to be involved with the punting, So we'll see how. That doesn't mean somewhere down the road he won't be, but right now that's not the plan. So, and his strengths are more in kicking than in punting.
All right, well, let's look at these next three guys and update us on their status in the 2021 class. JERRELL Boykins Jr.
Yeah, big kid, 6'4", 290, defensive lineman from Gonzales East Ascension High School down in Louisiana. Here's the deal with him. He can play any of the four positions on the defensive line. He's versatile. Coach LeBlanc offered him last week. This is a kid that's got 11 offers. But some of those offers are like Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Virginia, Memphis, Kansas, Central Florida, and Arkansas. He's got some good offers. Arkansas and Ole Miss are really up there for him. He's right now he's not naming any favorites because what he planned to do was take a lot of visits this summer and get to see these schools, and right now he hasn't got to see them, and so he's just going off of by conferences, by offers and stuff like that, and that's tough. But he's someone that can, he feels like he's, I asked him, I said, okay, if no one's seen you play, if someone hasn't seen you play, what do you do well? He feels like he's an elite pass rusher. And when you get a kid 6'4", 290 that can be an elite pass rusher, you've got something there. And because coaches are always looking for cover cornerbacks and elite pass rushers. Those are two, and left tackles who can protect the quarterback on offense. Those are three positions. If you can do those things, they'll always find a spot for you. So JERRELL Boykins is somebody that Arkansas obviously will try to get in for a visit when and if this ever clears up. He said, hey, if we never get to take any visits, I'm just going to have to make it off of these virtual visits and this stuff like that. But that's not the idea because he wants to come and see how he feels. What kind of feeling he gets in the community, what kind of feeling he gets on the visit. Everyone has beautiful facilities, and that's what they're going to show you on these virtual visits. They're going to show you their best. That's what they're all going to do that, not just Arkansas, but everybody. He wants to go, and, when you go with someone, you get a feel for that community, that school and stuff, and you feel like this is right or this is wrong. And that's what he wants to do, and hopefully he gets to do that. Hopefully this stuff opens back up in September or sometime where these kids can start taking some visits. It's really hurt them in the sense that so many kids have to make visits or make decisions without ever seeing the school and ever visiting the town. And but it's a level playing field in this sense because everyone, if you didn't get in those visits before the March shutdown, then if you didn't go to junior days or something before that, or if you didn't take, if you didn't go last year or something, then everyone's in the same boat. And so it's unfortunate, but it's a level playing field. I guess what I'm trying to say, Alyssa. It's just it's unfortunate, but it's it's just part of what you have to deal
Sure.
with.
Yeah,
it's part of it.
It's a part of the time, and I'm interested down the road to see the outlook of this and whether or not we see a lot of transfers in the next 3 or 4 years because people are having to make commitments without visiting schools. All right, Rayshon Benny is the next guy we're going to talk about.
He's a 4-star defensive end, offensive tackle from up in Oak Park, Michigan. Arkansas doesn't recruit Michigan a lot, but when they do, they don't always get a visit to kid up there. What's interesting about Rayshon is he's 6'5", 275, but he can play offensive tackle or he can play defensive end. I mean, he can go either way. I mean, he does both for his high school team. He's down to Arkansas, Arizona State, Kentucky, LSU, Michigan State, Michigan, Penn State, and Tennessee. So it's going to be interesting to see which direction he goes. Will he stay and play for either Michigan or Michigan State, or will he venture outside the state? Because actually, when you get away from Michigan State, the rest of these schools are a pretty good distance from there. I mean, I would assume Penn State's probably a little bit is closer than the rest of them. But we know Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU, Kentucky, and Arizona State are a pretty good distance from where he's at, and so I was, so those are, if he stays close to home, he obviously stays in the state that he's got those schools, but otherwise Arkansas would be an interesting selection for him because I think right now they might be looking at him more at defensive ends than offensive tackle, but he can do either one and play either one. He's very comfortable doing both, and we'll see how that recruiting plays out. That's going to be one to watch because big-time talent. I mean, he's got 40 offers, Alyssa. I mean, they're in the finals on 3 kids got a combined 100 offers. That narrowed decisions down yesterday to 7 or 8 schools. He's got it down to 8. He's got 40 offers, and these kids combined had 100 offers. That's and they're out-of-state kids, so it's amazing.
All right, let's talk about Remington Strickland now, the last guy of this 2021 class.
Yeah, he's a kid that I'm going to try to have a story with this week, a bigger story than the one I wrote today. He's got it down to top 8 also. Arkansas, SMU, Houston, San Diego State, Central Florida, Boise State, Colorado State, and Purdue. He's 6'4", 290, something like that, from Sugar Land Christian Academy in Texas, 3-star center. Would come in and be a perfect fit to anchor that offensive line for Sam Pittman and those guys over there. Strong kid, can really play. He's got 25 offers, somewhere in that range. Arkansas offered him on February the 28th. So soon after they got here and started offering kids after the signing day, the late signing period. Sam and them offered him a scholarship, and so he was one that was going to visit Arkansas, and of course all the plans got canceled because what was it, about 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks after he got offered, they shut everything down. The NCAA did on visits and stuff, so that's what hurt him. And with Arkansas and some other schools, as far as visiting, but he'll get a chance to see them. Like I said, as long as this stuff opens back up, these kids are going to get a chance to take some visits. So, but that's one to watch. Remington Strickland is because Arkansas's got 3 offensive linemen right now, and they would like to sign a 4th one, and he might be in that. He's in that group. He definitely is in that group to be considered for that spot.
All right, we're going to save the best story for last. Class of 2022 getting their first commitment this week in the form of J.J. Hollingsworth, a defensive end who, I got to tell you, Otis, met him yesterday, looks the part already of a Division I defensive end. But he's a small-town kid from Greenland, right down the street. And we talked to him, and we're pretty sure he's the first Razorback offer from a Greenland kid, and he could be the first one to come up to the Hill from Greenland. Pretty cool.
I asked Coach Larkin about that when Jason and I were out there earlier, and asked Coach Larkin. He's definitely the first since 2000. He said, and I've done this before 2000, and I can't remember them ever offering a Greenland kid. So I think he is the first one, and what a first one to offer. 6'4", 250. He had 33 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, and 14 solo tackles last year. But he played that kind of misleading in the sense that he played nose guard instead of defensive end because he had a broken hand. Played 9 games with a cast on his hand, Alyssa. So they moved him inside where it'd be a little bit easier to play with the hand. But he's going to be on the edge this year at defensive end. JJ is just first-class kid. He got a 3.9 grade point. He's the total package. I mean, he's smart, he's strong, he's fast, he's big, he's got a great head on his shoulders. I wish I'd have been that mature and that sensible. Well, I wish I was that now at my age, much less when I was his age, you know. But I wish I was that mature and stuff now. But no, seriously, I mean, he really got a good head on his shoulders, and he's a good kid and great family, and just. I know you know them. We talked about that Friday off there and stuff, and I know you know some of them, and it's just a good family. And I am so proud of Coach Pittman going out to offer a kid in Greenland. It's been so easy to just think, well, I'll put him on the back burner, and I'm going to go to Houston or Dallas or New Orleans or wherever, or Miami, But no, I mean, he offered a kid at Greenland. I mean, I'm just proud Arkansas is doing that now because I just wonder if this kid would have gotten an offer if not for Coach Pittman and this new staff. I don't know. Eventually he might have, but I don't think he'd ever gotten one this early, and that's not a knock at any previous staff. It's just something that I feel instead of just automatic. And I know Texas puts out a lot of talent. God, they put out a lot of talent. It's loaded. But it's good. It's good when you have a kid in your state that you look at, and you don't limit it to Fayetteville and Bentonville or Bentonville West or Springdale or Harbor. Rogers Heritage. You've got a kid, or Shiloh. You get a kid right here, Greenland, Arkansas, and you offer him. I mean, if he can play, he can play, and JJ can definitely play. And I'm ecstatic for him because that's what he and his family wanted, and I'm just tickled to death for everyone involved in that deal. It's going to work out well, and he's going to be a great addition to the Razorbacks, both on and off the field.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think it's important to realize talent is talent. Doesn't really matter what your area code is, right?
Well, sometimes when you get a small school kid, sometimes maybe, I'm not saying in this case, JJ, I'm saying in general, sometimes they may have to adjust to bigger, quicker players in the SEC and stuff. So it may be an adjustment there, but that doesn't mean that, look at Melvin Bradley came from Barton and made a quick impact to the defensive line. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that sometimes there is an adjustment because you're going against kids size that you've never seen before or never gone against, so it may be an adjustment. But that doesn't mean that you can't adjust in a few months or a few weeks or whatever. And no, I mean, if you can play, you can play, and he can definitely play.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really looking forward to that and then the continuation of building that 2022 class. Otis, thanks so much. I know you had a busy week. Hope you have a great one, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Thanks, Alyssa. Thank you.